welcome to this lesson on the 4-phrase exercise. This is an exercise that I've created to improve my own control over phrasing while improvising. I have noticed that I often go in the same kinds of direction in terms of note height and intensity while I'm improvising. I'm not talking about playing the same kind of notes, but the same kind of direction in terms of intensity and higher and lower notes. To improve my control over this, I've created an exercise I call the 4-phrase exercise. This is a way of practicing improvisation by using an original phrase and 4 possible next phrases. By using higher and lower notes and higher and lower intensity, you can create 4 possible phrases. The first one is higher notes and lower intensity. The second one is higher notes and higher intensity. The third one is lower notes, lower intensity. And the final one is lower notes and higher intensity. In the beginning, it's a good idea to treat this as a composition exercise, since composition is sort of improvising slowed down and you have more time to think about the different ideas you're using. What creates more or less intensity? Less intensity is created by playing fewer notes, playing mainly chord tones, and playing quieter. While more intensity is created by playing more notes or playing faster, playing louder, using slides and bends, large melodic leaps, and using altered scales, tension notes or chromatics. Of course, each of these elements could be a whole lesson in itself, but that's not the theme of this video. One last thing, I always try to keep some sort of element from the first original phrase when I'm playing the next 4 phrases. This is to create a sort of continuity with the first idea. This can be a melodic pattern, a rhythm, or something else. I will demonstrate this exercise by using 3 examples. The first 2 will be a kind of blues funk style, and the third one will be a jazz example. Also, the first one will be a short original phrase, the second a medium long one, and the third a long one. Let's go! This is the first original phrase. I'm using the E minor pentatonic, playing over an E minor 7, C major 7 groove. What's going on in this phrase? It's starting with a slide into the 5th of the chord, then it moves up a tone in the scale. Then that note is repeated before it's going down the scale and up again, before finally another step up the scale. This is the first phrase, higher notes, lower intensity. In this one, I use the same idea of going up, down, up 2 notes of the pentatonic scale as in the original phrase, but now it's higher up the scale. I'm also using the same rhythm as in the middle of the phrase. Most of these are also chord tones. This is the second one. It's higher notes, higher intensity. In this one, I'm creating intensity by playing faster, using chromatic passing notes and syncopated rhythms. I end the phrase by repeating the same notes as in the first phrase, but up an octave. This helps keeping the phrase connected to the original phrase. Next one, we have lower notes, lower intensity. In this one, I'm using the same idea of going back and forth between 2 pentatonic scale notes, and I'm even repeating the second one as in the original phrase. These are also all chord tones. Number 4. Lower notes, higher intensity. In this one, I'm starting on the same note as the original phrase, but then I go down and up a chromatic tone. Then I use a scale pattern going down the scale. Then I land on an F sharp, that's the sharp 11 of C major. That's a tension note that helps create more intensity. This is my second original phrase. This is a 2-bar phrase over the same groove. This is higher notes, lower intensity. This one is higher notes, higher intensity. The next one is lower notes, lower intensity. And finally, lower notes, higher intensity. This next example is a jazz phrase. It's over a G minor, A minor 7 flat 5, D altered. And it's like the A section of the jazz standard, softly as in a morning sunrise. It's also a longer phrase that lasts a few bars. Higher notes, lower intensity. Higher notes, higher intensity. Lower notes, lower intensity. Lower notes, higher intensity.